Jed, best girl, change my mind. We've mentioned in one of our posts that we are blessed with a lot of great heroines last year. And that's because likability or even just the memorability of the heroine plays an important role in the overall experience of a game that is Otome. What I really liked about Jed is that she stands firm on her beliefs and has the strength and resolve to back it up. Not just pure feelings, not just relying on the help of the love interests and cleaning up the aftermath. But wait, I may be getting ahead of myself. There have been a lot of new Otomes. New, spunky, kind, funny, amazing heroines released in the recent years. But it's not about them competing against each other. It's about appreciating the complexities of a character, how multifaceted their behaviors and reactions are on whatever the universe throws at them. So, is stating Jed is best girl a bold statement? Well, just hear me out, and let me know your thoughts after this video in the comment section. Just a quick background, Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk is the second installment for the Psychedelica Otome series, known for its angst and dramatic storyline. So do manage your expectations, but don't worry, there are happy endings, albeit a bit bittersweet. The first game of the series, Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly, is in the same universe, but you don't need to play it to enjoy or understand Ashen Hawk. Before I start, just a gentle reminder that this is an Otome review and there will be minor spoilers. The story starts with Jed working as a handyman and getting hired to retrieve a missing ornament, the Kaleido Via. And in search for this, she unearths the Sleepy Town's mysteries. The town is divided into two factions, the Wolf Clan and the Hawk Clan. Unfortunately, they uphold different values and clash from time to time. The game has this layer of gameplay where you can check out various places in town and investigate or interact with the characters. It was, well, different I guess, but it did become tedious when you're already a few chapters in. The pacing of the story was a bit slow due to this, but once you've reached a certain revelation, everything will go haywire. Everything you knew will get even more crazier and the pacing of the story will pick itself up. A lot of things will happen all at once. And it's this juxtaposition in the storytelling that keeps me engaged until the end. The world building is amazing. Right from the start, you'll find out the reason behind Jed living as a man. She was born with a witch's mark in a town where they believe that the witch is the cause of all misfortune. In a closed-off town with close-minded villagers, I would agree with Jed's decision. But don't get me wrong, the villagers have their own personalities, wants, and fears, but you just know how deep-rooted their fear is whenever the topic of the witch is brought about. I appreciate that the story centers around Jed. We're following her journey, the plot moves, on her actions, and even on her inaction or indecision. So let's explore her behavior and interactions with other characters to help shed light on why Jed is best girl. Levin is the heir of the Wolf Clan and grew up with Jed, somewhat akin to an older brother. He is usually calm and collected, but whenever something happens to Jed, he goes into overprotective mode. He is voiced by Hino Satoshi, known for his work as Toma from Amnesia, Orochi from Dairoku, and Miyagi from Winter's Wish. Throughout the story, you will uncover the darkness within Levin and, in his route, dabble more into his insecurities and trying to move past it, with Jed playing a vital role. While I appreciate the exploration of their backstory, the multiple layers of vulnerability, his ending was just okay. It's acceptable, but just not as memorable as the others. Levi is the leader of the Wolf class Vigilantes. A younger brother of Levin, he also grew up with the heroine Jed. Most of the time, he acts without thinking and turns to Jed to help bail him out. He is voiced by Saito Soma, known for his work as Mineo from Color Malice, Shingen from Biroshana, and Ayus from Shuren no Verge. Levi's character is a whole lot of crazy, but one thing's for sure is his love for Jed. In the early parts of the story, he is like this loyal dog who goes straight to Jed whenever he sees her. I find it cute given that even though Levi is older than Jed, Jed is the more mature one between the two. Later on, you'll find that it's Jed's earnest personality and her acceptance of him is his light at the end of the tunnel. Lugus is the heir of the Hawk clan opposite to Levin. He embodies the strict ways of his clan. They roll with an iron fist and believe that it is what's needed for there to be order. He is voiced by Furukawa Makoto, known for his work as Cryus from Even If Tempest, Yoritomo from Biroshana, and Alan from Cupid Parasite. Lugus was initially as intimidating as his father, but as you get to know him and go through the story, you'll understand the roots of his unquestioning belief in his father. What I enjoyed with Lugus' character is that while he is strict with his subjects and himself, he is very reasonable. His story is somewhat the enemies to lovers sort, and in his route you will see the lengths he will go for the heroine. And while it's not my cup of tea, I did find him adorable in his short stories with Jed, and I feel that Jed would be the death of him. Hugh is the mysterious traveler that Jed meets in her search for the Kaleido artifact. He is voiced by Namikawa Daisuke, known for his work as Sasasuka from Color Malice, Kinji from Kimi Yuki, and Yusha from Dot Karushi. Hugh dances to his own tune. He appears and disappears whenever he feels like it. He may claim to be somewhat of an onlooker in the happenings of the town, but later on you'll find out about his presence in the key events of the story. Throughout the story, you'll see how very interested Hugh is with the heroine, assisting her in multiple critical incidents and helping solve the mystery in a very roundabout way. He has 2 endings, one of which will be unlocked once all other endings, shorts and notes have been completed. You will meet a more humanized version of him here, but still very interested in Jed's musings and decisions. The Tower Overlord or Ashen Hawk is Jed's master in a sense that she lodges in his tower even though he is practically useless in household chores or any laborious tasks. He is voiced by Hirakawa Daisuke, known for his work as Saint-Germain from Code Realize, Cinderella from Taisho Alice, and Zane from Period Cube. Ashen Hawk claims to be a ghost early on, and this will be later explained on in the story. While technically not a love interest, he does have his own ending where you can see how fragile he can get and how important Jed is to him. His character is a bit controversial, but I do enjoy Jed's banters with him. He brings out Jed's mischievous side, and she knows she can loosen up because wherever he is her safe haven. In the Psychedelica series, there are technically no character roots, just the endings. There are branching routes, just not love interests or character specific, but don't worry, there are romantic, touching, and even exciting scenes throughout the story with each love interest. Each of them prompting different reactions from Jed or heroine, and I love them for it. Character scores 21 out of 25. The supporting cast were really lovely and memorable. Every encouragement from Francesca, every adoration from T, intimidation from Olga, the inexplicable feeling whenever you talk to the mysterious man, and the rambunctious members of the clans. They are all pieces of the puzzle. They are connected and needed for all or any of the endings to happen. Their relationships and interactions with Jed are very, very different from each other. Opposites, really. And in turn, Jed's attitude acclimates to whoever she is interacting with. This shows very interesting views and perspectives. I also liked how Alric, Rabbit, and Lawrence aren't just bonus cameos from Black Butterfly, and that they are integral to the story. Cast scores 8 out of 10, bonus point on how everyone has faces and voices. Jed, our lovely heroine, she is known to be this earnest hard worker who's good at being a handyman. The Wolf Clan loves her, or him to their knowledge, while the Hawk Clan is indifferent to him, her. Sometimes even hostile, depending on what part of the story. No, we're not going to get a whole 180 on her personality, however, different facets of it will be explored in this game. Let me explain. Jed is a very well-rounded character, while she is usually this bright, optimistic, and capable heroine. But with everything going haywire, the game isn't afraid to show her darker side, where she can sometimes come across as arrogant and a bit manipulative. But if you take a step back and remember that the story is her journey from adapting to the witch folklore, dressing up as a man to avoid conflict, and the consequences of doing so to the people she cares about. There are multiple traumatizing incidents that lead to emotional and heart-wrenching scenes or endings. Her evolution from her grief, her way of coping to achieving clarity or acceptance was very satisfying. It was not just from the bottom to the top. She stumbles in processing her feelings, her decisions, and actions that you can't help but root for her. And that's probably why my favorite ending is the heroine's ending, where she chose the light, and I think that shows her strength and conviction on what she believes is right. Heroine scores 10 out of 10. To be able to care so much about a character says so much on how well written the story is. Story scores 22 out of 25. As for the music, the sound effects is actually pretty good. It conveys a feeling of being in this fantasy town, be it at the center of the plaza, inside the tavern, outside the woods, anywhere. The background music is really well executed, for a lack of a better word. It helps push the emotional setup the game is going for, so that you as the reader can be completely engrossed in the events unfolding in the story. Just goosebumps. The opening song Haizora no Shizuku and the ending song complements the vibe of the game. It lets you know from the start there's this mysterious and bittersweet tale unfolding in front of us. Music scores 8 out of 10. The lead artist Yuiga Satoru worked on both Psychedelica series, Black Butterfly, and this game Ashen Hawk. While not my cup of tea, the sprites and CGs are consistent and very stylistic. You'll know right away that it's the Psychedelica characters. The background complements the vibe in the game pretty well. It portrays a sleepy town that can somehow get loud depending on what part of the story. Although there are some flipped and recolored assets of hallways or different buildings, it was quite funny how the game had to explain why, but really it's just a minor issue for me. Art scores 7 out of 10. The game was initially available in Vita, but with the closure of the PSN store for Vita, it is now only available via secondhand for a physical Vita copy or via Steam for PC. I'm not so sure for the secondhand, but PC parts are way cheaper than the console version and the price does differ from region to region though. Would I recommend this game? Definitely. Value for price scores 8 out of 10. Overall, I really loved how Jed was written. She is a perfect combination of cool and cute, a character riddled with anxieties and insecurities, yet the guiding light not just for our heroines but the whole town. My favorite ending will always be Jed's, the heroine's ending, as it shows her resolve in ending the town's mystery. Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk scores 84. So what's your verdict? Do you have other awesome heroines in mind? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of Heroine Supreme, check out this next video if you enjoy a memorable heroine, and I'll see you there.